Canada Day celebrations, well, they're over. June, well, is also now complete, and we've officially finished, oh my gosh, the first half of the year. So today we are going to discuss the main talking points of all three. All right, being on the heels of another month of sales data, let's just start right here. June 2023 is officially the highest selling June on record. Last month we did it. This month we did it again. We succeeded with 3,146 total sales, a pace of 105 sales per day. Now, not only that, June ended up outselling May's sales. This is different from last year and different from most years in that our May sales numbers tend to be our peak sales month of the year. For reference, last year, May sold 3,063 and then dropped to 2,847. That was a 7% drop. This means that buyer demand continues to pour into our market further, building on the momentum that we've been experiencing all of 2023. This is a good time to discuss now the buyer demand just a little bit more. You may remember this graphic here, which showed the net interprovincial population gain and also international net migration to Alberta in the first quarter of 2023. It was being shown that it was at record highs. Well, this sort of influx of people takes time to settle. Many enter the rental pool, and then transition to home ownership. Well, it's this growth story that has been compounding for years that continues to fuel this need for housing, the demand. It's also part of the reason we know Alberta's buyer demand will continue, as this stat is not forecasted to change for years and years and years as people continue to come. Listen to this. Alberta's allure is not hard to see, said Alberta's Minister of Finance, Travis Taves, in a statement. Our lower cost of living, affordable housing, abundant jobs, higher earnings, and lower taxes are attracting newcomers from all over the country and abroad. See, with Q2 behind us, I fully expect another set of statistics to surface with more of the same net migration story even further. Now, another thing that doesn't get a lot of airtime is that due to the net migration figures, another stat continues to develop: the net natural increase of our population. Because it's not just investors buying Alberta, it's a record number of people moving here. Guess what? Well, they grow families and they take roots here. Alberta, as a result, is leading the nation in net natural increase in its population. Now, this again will only compound with the continued interprovincial and international migration that's happening. And lastly, we also have the youngest demographic in the nation, further fueling the long-term trajectory of our housing demand. Now, demand like this can't be ignored, even by the hardcore GTA and GVA fans and all those armchair economists out there. Okay, so I think I've convinced you of the sales data and the ongoing continued demand that's going to happen throughout 2023, well, and beyond. So let's shift gears a bit to the available properties, well, actually on the market to buy. It's been a hope of many of my colleagues to see an influx, well, of new property to market to satisfy this really tight conditions out there, trying to help buyers get in. So has it finally come? Well, the short answer is, well, yes, well, and no. Yes, in the way that it's actually already been here. We are continuing to list homes near record numbers. See, we listed just under 4,000 new homes on the market. That's a pace of about 133 per day, which is serving to supply property to the 104 sales per day pace that we achieved in June. The last 3 years of listings this time of year show we are putting record number of property on the market. I don't think we can expect much more than that than what we're seeing now. And we're also seeing help from the new housing industry as well. Listen to this. According to a recent numbers set that was released from CMHC, Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, monthly home starts dropped 23% nationally between April and May, while in Calgary, they're on the rise in Alberta. Meanwhile, there's been a 36% increase in new construction. Calgary continues to be busy with 2,078 housing starts in May 2023, as opposed to only 1,769 during May of 2022. Now that is a 17% rise year over year. What it means is that Alberta is actually doing pretty well, says Taylor Hardy, senior specialist of the market analysis section of CMHC. So yes, as you can see, but also no if you're a buyer, because you'd always love to see more options to buy, deals to be had, and ability to take a little more time in your decision making. This simply isn't an option for home buyers right now in Calgary. Currently, despite the positive items that I just mentioned about adding inventory, we do sit at an all-time low amount of homes available to buy, with only 3,474. This does, though, vary across property types. Where demand is highest, new inventory is coming the fastest. Well, i.e. apartments, well, they saw a market increase in sales by 48% year over year, but they also saw a 12% increase in its new listings over 2022. But on the flip side, in the detached market, our most expensive market, sales were only up 3% over last year, but new listings lagged by about 10% in relation to that year. See, again, our population is young, made up of a great deal of new people who are just settling here, and we have the lowest percentage of 65 and older in the nation. So I don't think we can expect a big bump in detached inventory to come any faster than it already is. So currently, because of the demand mentioned earlier, coupled with the supply I just mentioned, our market is just really tight and fast moving. You really see it come together in the most recent days on market number. See, in January, as a city, we were at 42 days on market. In February, went down to 33, tightened up. March, 27. April, May, down to 24. And now, as of the end of June, we are as low as 22. This will not likely change much, as you can expect the number of new listings to start to taper down from now all the way through to December, as we are past the peak selling season now in our region. So if I am right about the wave of buyer demand continuing its relentless push, this will happen during the time when new listings start to reduce on the resale market and probably some of the builder side too. So in essence, don't expect the market to get any looser anytime soon, even with the latest Bank of Canada rate rise, and even if they plan another one in the late summer or fall. Calgary's recent gains have done little to close the affordability gap that remains among Canada's major metro cities. Hear this one out. Latest numbers still show that the mortgage payments as a percentage of income in Toronto, 83%, Vancouver, 95% of your income to your housing. And then there's us in Calgary, even with these rises, less than half of that at 41%. See, the government's broad stroke solutions is an ill-fated attempt to fix a mess they've created decades ago in their prized jewels of their major cities. So for the record, I hope they do find a way, because we hear it every single day how difficult it is to start a life or even maintain one in those major cities. Alberta is an answer for many, as you're seeing it, but it can't be the answer for all. Okay, as I wrap up for today, let's talk a bit about how all of this is impacting the pricing in the region. Now, it's fair to say, with all that's been said so far in this update, that one would expect positive price growth to be happening with our real estate values. Just like I've been expanding on all year, that's exactly what has happened. Our total residential price has now increased to $564,700. It's a new record high. This is an increase of 4.4% year over year, and just another 7,000 just from last month alone. We are seeing 6% year over year price growth in the detached market, the most expensive market, which is now up to $685,000. This is a $60,000 increase from January. Apartments, they're up 12% year over year, now over $300,000 for the first time, and a $30,000 bump since January. Semis up 6% to $613,000, another $40,000 since January. And row homes up 11% to $400,000 exactly, and this is up $45,000 since the beginning of the year. And it's also happening in all regions of our city, but highest, of course, in the areas that are most affordable, like the Northeast and the East districts, where people are flocking to get what they want with what they can afford as a result of the interest rate rises. And it's also happening, well, all around the city as well. We've seen positive price growth in every single one of the 7 regions outside of Calgary that make up the complete Calgary Real Estate Board. Again, as I always say, the exact supply, total number of homes available, and demand, total sales currently happening, is different everywhere. All positive, yes, but different. You need to be speaking with an expert to get the right advice for your situation to make a good decision. So as we finish up this update and we finish up the first half of 2023, the greater Calgary real estate market remains in seller's market conditions. Home prices on the rise, new home construction is in full swing, and there's really no end of buyers in sight. This is not a trend. This is our deeply rooted reality and will be the case in our region for years and years to come, regardless of the consistent oil price swings, regardless of the political movements made by the government a long ways away, and at this point, near regardless of anything shy of a global event that affects the entire planet. Those that bet against Alberta, in my opinion, are betting wrong, but it's just my opinion. So once again, that's it for today. Thanks for watching us here on Redline TV, and please be sure to like, drop me a comment, and share this with the friends that you know should be hearing this message. Other than that, see you again next month.